So as we started further prototyping the device, we knew that it needed to be soft because it was going on a baby, and it needed to be at least partially transparent for the bedside nurses who needed to see through the device. And there were also various questions around durometer and the actual design of the securement mechanism, and a lot of open questions about how we were going to effectively and reliably secure the catheter. When we started testing securement mechanisms with the baby bottle nipples as the basis for these prototypes, we started coming up with a variety of ideas in which we could secure these catheters, but ultimately realized that the baby bottle nipples were a little bit too big, a little bit too floppy, and while they were good templates for initial brainstorming and prototyping, they were kind of not sufficient for the next step in this process. So ultimately, we realized that we needed to scale down these prototypes, but we wanted to keep them transparent and made out of silicone, which is why we made a base model with a single mold that we used as a template to attach other components to and to iterate upon the securement mechanism on that base template. And we called that the Mr. Potato Head because, like a Mr. Potato Head, we could attach various things to this base model and quickly and effectively iterate upon securement mechanisms. So we couldn't mold all the different mechanisms every time we came up with a new idea because it was far too expensive. It costs thousands of dollars at minimum to cut a mold and several weeks to come up with a new silicone prototype. So by having this Mr. Potato Head template model, we had, I think, 1,000 of them or so, and we could quickly design new mechanisms, cut them up, on a day-to-day or week-by-week basis to come up with new ideas and then subject those prototypes to securement testing. So these first prototypes were made with the Mr. Potato Head model, which is this silicone component, and we 3D printed additional features which we sutured onto the silicone device that actually would secure the catheters. So the second round of prototyping was performed to assemble a series of works-like prototypes that would actually secure the catheter and allowed us to test different ideas and different mechanisms for catheter securement. And in this example, you have this base device that still secures the catheter, and the catheter would come out to the side of it, and you could pull this strap over the top of it to mechanically hold it in place. And some of these other devices would function in a different mechanism where it would come around and you could wrap it around this securement knob as well. And these were all very different ideas, and on a week-by-week basis, we brought them to the team to discuss them and test them in a variety of different ways to inform the next round of prototyping. So as you can see in this third stage of prototyping, we have 3 prototypes here that actually look kind of similar because we started getting pretty excited by this idea of having a securement knob and having a strap that pulls over the securement knob to mechanically secure the catheter. So as a quick example, this is one of our earlier prototypes. This catheter would go underneath the securement knob, and you would pull this strap just over the top just to mechanically secure it. And we started iterating on these and rigorously testing these prototypes in our catheter securement reg. And this really gave us the confidence to spend a little bit more money and to have a fully molded prototype made and to test a works-like and looks-like prototype. So in our case, this Mr. Potato Head approach of prototyping allowed us to create a lot of works-like prototypes in a short and efficient time frame to test a variety of different ways of actually securing the umbilical catheter and allowed us to come up with different ways of doing so before moving on to the next phase of prototyping, which was to invest in a mold that created a fully silicone works-like and looks-like prototype.